And they, are kind of like, okay, we're going to move on without you. So the headline, can the world move on without the US? G20 leaders gave it a shot. It says President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa could not contain his laughter. A reporter asked him to confirm reports that the United States had dropped its boycott and asked to participate in the Group of 20 summit in Johannesburg, just 2 days before it was set to start. The South African leader barely uttered a word before breaking down laughter, eventually composing himself and saying he had received a note that from the Americans, quote, about a change of mind, unquote. Trump boycotting the annual meeting over his contention that South Africa is persecuting its white minority. Some countries were taking a tougher tone on the world's largest economy and trying to show that life can go on. The G20 should send a clear message that the world can move on with or without with or without the U.S. Ronald Lamolia, South Africa's foreign minister, said at a forum hosted by Bloomberg before the summit. We will mark them absent and continue with the business. South Africa declined a Trump administration request that Mr. Quote, I think the big message coming out of the G20 is that despite the geopolitical bullying that exists, despite the power of the U.S., that countries can come together and still get stuff done, said Nabil Ahmed, a senior director at Oxfam America, who attended the summit. And I think this idea that the world's trying to learn to live without the US and just kind of mark them absent and move on with business and all this type of thing is interesting. Life isn't so easy without the US. And ultimately, this is a golden opportunity for China to fill in some of that international role that the US used to do. And whether people will take the US back or if the rules will have changed so much by that time that it may not be so easy and we may be viewed with an air of suspicion. The reminder being that these things have consequences. These decisions have consequences, and Trump is very used to kind of, jerking people around, and people in other countries don't necessarily have to always put up with that.